button. Okay, so which function have to be called. So once, right, you know these three things, right? So that is fine. And you shouldn't forget this window.main loop, which will listen for the events. That's all. And then, right, always try to write it inside a class, so that, right, in the constructor you write the code for creating window, followed by frames, followed by label, text boxes, and button. Okay, and then write whatever the event handlers are, those functions, you write it inside the class, right, as a member function, like this. Okay, add and subtract. And then, right, you create an object for that particular class. Okay, so this is a very easy way of creating a GUI program. So yesterday, right, we also saw how to create a menu, right? So creating a menu, right, and then placing it something like this. So this is a menu. For example, in Atom editor, right, this is a menu we have. And then, right, this is this file, edit, view, selection, find, packages, help. These are the actual menu root. Okay, and then these are the menu items we have. Okay, so inside each and every, right, so this is a menu bar. Okay, this is a menu bar. And then, right, inside the menu bar it can have several menu. This is one menu, this is another menu, this is another menu, and in each of these menus we have menu items. Okay, and what will happen if I go and click this, right? So it is opening up a different file. Okay, so this is the action, right, that we want to perform. Okay, so wherever, right, you see editors or you see a window, these placing menu bars, it is a very common operation. So, right, yesterday we saw how to create a menu, right, for a calculator. So now, right, let us see what you mean by a pop-up menu. Okay, so a pop-up menu is so this is a pop-up menu. For example, in Windows, right, right-clicking this is a pop-up menu. Okay, so when I write, so usually, right, pop-up menus are invoked when when you click the mouse, right? Usually, right, it is invoked when you right-click the mouse. Okay, so the same thing, right, we are going to do it in our program. So, right, only thing is uh, uh, we will click it, right click inside a canvas. Okay, so why you are creating a canvas? Whenever you want to draw something inside your window, then you have to create a canvas. Okay, so this is the canvas, right, that has been created. So we see here, this is a canvas, right? The width is 200 and height is 100. Okay, and in this canvas, what are all the things? So this canvas, right, it is being shown in the window. It is stick to the window and it is packed there. So by in default layout, canvas will be shown. And this canvas, right, if you see here, there is a bind function. The purpose of bind function is, suppose you want to bind whether a keyboard event or a mouse event, okay, to the canvas. Okay, then, right, you can use this canvas.bind. Similarly, any widget, every widget is having a bind function. Okay, so this is the name of the widget, followed by a bind. And then, right, what is the button, right? What is the which button, right? On which button you have to invoke. Okay, so this button -3, that means that it is the mouse click, and that too it is a right mouse click. Okay, so left mouse click is your button 1, button 3 is your right mouse click. So this is like in a traditional mouse, right? If you see, in older days, right, we should have a left button, a middle button, and then a right button. Okay, so accordingly we have for every widget we can listen to whether a left click is being pressed, or whether a middle button is being pressed, or whether a right click is being pressed. Okay, using your mouse. So, right, when I right click it, then, right, the canvas will respond. How it will respond? It will open up a pop-up menu. Okay, it will call this self.popup. Okay, now let us see, right, what is this self.popup? See, self.popup is a method that is available here. So this method will be invoked, and in this method we have a menu. So this menu, right, we are going to post it. So the purpose of post is, right, now the pop-up menu will be it will be made available. Okay, so on that, right, on that click, okay, on that mouse right click, this function is getting called, and in this function, so we are having a menu. That menu will get visible now. Okay, that is the purpose of post. So at which location it will get visible? Okay, so at the place where the user has clicked that right click, right? So that xy coordinate we have to fetch it. So one way of fetching xy coordinate is you can say event.x and event.y. Okay, so that will give you with respect to the window what is the xy coordinate, or you can say event.x root and event.y root, which will get you right, which will get you with respect to the canvas. Okay, so this is a relative position. X root and y root, it is a relative position with respect to the top left. If you take it as 0 comma 0, then right, this is how much x is differing and how much y is differing. Okay, so that is about x root and y. So at the place where you are right clicking the mouse, this menu will be posted. Now let us see what is present in this menu. Okay, so what is present in this menu? So we have a menu here, self-dot menu. So this is the menu that we are popping up, and this is a menu. So see, the way in which we create menu, both are same. See, here also we are saying menu. So menu, right? So similarly, right here also we are saying menu. Okay, the same, right? The same command is used to create a menu. Uh, and then right, we are adding a menu item. See, here we are adding add command. So similarly, right, we have an add command here. So the same, right? The commands are same. And now again, right, we're adding a menu item here, which is the label is draw a line. And what is the action that we want to perform when you click this draw a line? Okay. So I want to call a function called as display line. And then right, this is the next menu item. So here we say draw an oval. And then right, on clicking this will call this function display oval. So the third one, right, this is a this menu item is draw a rectangle. So on clicking this, it will call a function called as display rect. And then right, fourth is a clear. On clicking this, it will call a function called as clear canvas. Okay. So these four functions, they are defined here. So this is display rect. So how to create a rectangle, we saw it yesterday. Okay, and then how to name that rectangle, that is by using tags. And then right, similarly, how to draw an oval, how to create a line. Okay, so here right, we have created two lines, and both the lines, they are called by the same name. Okay, so this is like a group of the shapes that you have drawn. You have grouped them under a single name. Okay, so this line and this line, both are called by the same name. So that means that we have grouped them together. Okay, and then clear canvas, we are going to delete whatever the shapes that we have drawn inside the canvas. So whether you have a rectangle or an oval or a line which you have drawn, you can delete them. Okay, delete them as a whole. Okay, so delete, right, it takes the list of objects that you want to delete. And then right, this is the menu. So now we got the menu. And then right, we have created a canvas. That canvas is listening to the mouse event. Okay, so mouse event is your right click. So let us run this program. So finally, right, you create an object for this particular class. Okay, so that it will be called. The constructor will be called. As a result, constructor will wait in a main loop in order to listen to the events. Okay, and it is this canvas is listening to the mouse event. So when you press your right click, the pop-up menu will appear. Okay. Now this is the window we have. Okay, and then this is the canvas we have. And then right, if I right click in the window, right, nothing is happening. Okay, but right, if I go inside the canvas, okay, so the canvas is listening to the mouse event. So when I go to the canvas, now I'm left clicking it, so nothing happens. Okay, now I'm right clicking it. Okay, so on right click, right, it is showing the pop-up menu. Now the place where I right click, okay, with respect to that particular place, so this particular point is your x underscore root and y underscore root. Okay, so this is with respect to this particular point, the canvas where you have placed the canvas. With respect to that, right, this point is taken. So at the place, right, where I right click, this pop-up is appearing. Okay, the difference between your menu bar is stick to your window, right, at this particular place. Whereas right, pop-up menu is you can bring a menu at anywhere in your window. Okay, like this. So at this place, right, the pop-up is appearing. Okay, and then right, on clicking this, this will call display line, and this will call display oval, and this will call display rectangle. So this will try to draw a rectangle inside your canvas. So you see here, so it is drawing a rectangle. Similarly, right, it is drawing two lines. So on display line, right, we are having actually two commands here. Command to draw one line, first line, and the command to draw the second line. So these are the two lines. Okay, so I'll clear this. Now draw a line. So these are the two lines getting drawn. Now again, right, I clear it. Suppose I draw an oval. This is the oval, right? That is getting created. Okay. This is a line. This is a rectangle. So all the three shapes are there. Now, if you want to clear them, right, you can use clear, which will delete all the shapes that you have drawn inside the canvas. Okay. So this is an example for your pop-up menu plus, right, what will happen if I how to handle your mouse event also. Okay. So you have to use the bind function. That is important. So by using the bind function, we can bind a key press or a mouse event, right? That will be stick to your widget. Okay. So this bind is you have to make it. Now suppose if I change this as button 1. Okay. So let us run the program again. So we got it. This is the canvas. Now I am right clicking it, nothing happens. Right clicking it, nothing happens. Okay. Now if I left click it, now this is right, I am left clicking it. So button 1 corresponds to your left click. Okay. So if I so on left clicking it at that particular XY point, okay, the pop-up menu is appearing. So if you want whether, right, so you have to decide whether whether you want to show the pop-up menu on a left click or on a right click. Okay, so that is about this. Okay, almost right. We have covered, right? We have covered this entire thing. So last example. So how to create how to listen to a mouse event. Okay, so one is how to listen to a mouse event. Next one is how to listen to a key event. Okay, all these examples are available in your textbook. Okay, in your Daniel Liang, right? Okay, so in the textbook, right, it has been available. So for the last unit, right, you refer to Daniel Liang. So that is more than needed. Okay, so there is a separate chapter called as GUI programming using TK Inter. So you can refer to that chapter. Okay. So now, right, let us see how to listen to a mouse event now. So again, right, we are creating a class. Okay, creating a constructor, create a window. Okay, so now, right, we are creating a canvas. See, there is a separate chapter called as GUI programming with TK Inter. So you just go through this, right? So this covers entire thing. The only thing, right, that has been not covered is how to create a radio button. So that radio button, right, that has been available in the next textbook. Okay, in your David Schneider book. So in this book, right, creating radio buttons. So those things are available here. So again, right, we are having it here. So how to write get input, right? How to get input from the user, and then on clicking a particular button, right, what is the operation you want to perform and display the result. So knowing this, right, that is fine. Okay, so now, right, we have created a window. Next is, right, we have created a canvas here. Okay, so now pack, right, it will place the window, place the canvas inside the window. Now, right, we are listening to the left click. Okay, so now we are having a bind, which is, right, button hyphen 1. So that means, right, we are listening to the left click. Now if you see, right, what are all the events we have. So these are all the events we have. Okay, so button button hyphen I. So this is button 1, button 2, button 3, right? Instead of I, you can substitute 1, 2, 3, corresponding to left, middle, and right buttons. Okay, and button released. Okay, again, right, button released hyphen I. So this will write when you release the button, what you want to do. So suppose if you want to draw a line starting from the left click to the place where you release that button, then you can make use of this event. Okay, and when you click both the buttons, right, then what you do. Okay, or when you double click it, right, then what you do. And then, right, this is when you move the mouse, right, suppose, right, the mouse is here, you see here, now it is changing action. Now if I move the mouse over here, right, now the mouse pointer is getting changed. If you want, right, to handle this event, then we have this enter. So when a mouse pointer enters a widget, then, right, you can make use of this enter. And if you when a key is being pressed, you can make use of key. Okay, when a mouse, right, leaves a widget, then, right, you can make use of leave. Okay, so these are, right, the several events, right, that you can program. Okay, so depending on, right, what is the event that you have programmed, your program will listen to only the particular event. Okay, if you haven't programmed, then, right, nothing will, no action will be taken. Okay. So now, right, what are all the events, right, this canvas is listening? So first is it is listening to the left click. Okay, next is it is also listening to the key press. Okay, so if I press any button, if I press, right, any key inside in my keyboard, then, right, it is going to call this process key event. Okay, now if I left click, right, left click inside the canvas, it is going to call this process mouse event. Okay, so these two functions are going to get called. And then, right, so this canvas dot focus set, so this is, right, if I run it, right, all right, so you're able to see a rectangle, right, over this canvas. So that is, right, focus set. So that means, right, by default, right, when this window is getting open, when there are several, right, sub windows, or several, right, fragments are there, so which fragment, right, you have to start with. Okay, so that is your focus set. So it is listening, right, now the window is listening in a infinite loop for all the events. Okay, now, right, if I press a left click, right, it is going to call process mouse event. Now in process mouse event, okay, see, for every event handler, okay, now for every event handler, now if you see, right, the difference between this function and this function, the last function. Now all these functions are having only self as the default parameter. The default parameter for a class member function is, it is a self. So that we have. But if you see the pop-up, right, this pop-up, right, it is also having another parameter called as event. Okay, so this event, right, so whenever, right, an event happens, this event is like a super class. So this super class, it has to be passed to this event handler. So this is the event handler. So to the event handler, you are passing this event. Okay, so this is this particular the behavior, it has been available in all your GUI programming. Okay, so whenever, right, you are writing an event handler, you have to pass the event, right, the object for the event, so that, right, from that event object, we will be able to extract, okay, whether it is a mouse click, or whether it is a key press, or, right, whether, right, what is the XY coordinate where you are pressing this. Okay, so I can use the properties of this event, okay, in order to get additional information about what that event is. Okay, okay. So when we call this, right, your program, right, this entire program, automatically it sends the event object, just like, right, how you are sending the self automatically, it will also send this event. Okay, so similarly, so if you see here both the functions, this function as well as this function, both are event handlers. So we are passing this event here. Okay, and by using this event, I will know, right, at which particular XY, at which particular point inside the canvas, right, I am able to I have clicked the left. Okay, the mouse click, left mouse click. So when I click the left mouse click, right, it will show me clicked at what is the XY coordinate, okay, where I have clicked, and then, right, the position in the screen. Okay, so this is so we will see a difference between event.xy, event.xy and event.x root. Okay, and then, right, which button has been clicked. Suppose if we want to find out which button has been clicked, then we can use num. Okay, so you see here all these are properties of event. So we are using the properties of event in order to get additional information about that event. So this is your xy, this is your x root, event.x root, event.y root, and then this is event. So similarly, right, event also has, suppose when I press a key, okay, then, right, it is by which symbol, right, I have pressed, which key I have pressed. Okay, so that I can get it by using key sim. So this will print the symbol corresponding to that key, and then what is the character that is corresponding to it, okay, and then what is the ASCII code, okay, of that key. So let us see, right, how this works. So this is the canvas we have. Okay, now I'm clicking the right click, nothing happens, okay, because it is not programmed to that event. Okay, now if I left click, now it is actually calling the right, it is actually right calling the, see, on a left click, it is actually calling process mouse event. So process mouse event, it is actually printing everything, right, inside a console. See, this is your console output. So in console output, right, this will display what are all the whatever is printed, right, here. So we have printed what is the XY coordinate where we have made the left click. So we have clicked at 53, 26. Okay. So XY, so this is your XY coordinate. Now you see, right, the position in the screen, this is X root and Y root. So if you see here, this is 634, 49. The X root, Y root, it is with respect to window 0, 0. Whereas X and Y, they are with respect to canvas. Okay. So with respect to canvas, right, what is my XY? So with respect to this point, what is my XY? Whereas with respect to this point, what is my XY? That is your X root and Y root. And then, right, which button we have pressed? We have pressed button 1. So that means it is a left click. Okay. So next is, right, what happens if I press a key? So if I press a key here, see, it is not producing any output. Now, right, if I press, so we will run it again. Okay. Now, right, so I'm pressing it here. Okay. Now, if you see, right, nothing happens. It is this Alt L. This is, right, I'm using Alt Tab, right, to switch between the windows. Okay. So it is getting that Alt L, right, and then it is showing it here. Okay. So now inside the canvas, if I press, say, A, small a, so we are getting a small a here. Okay. For small a, the ASCII code is 65. Okay. So the key code we are getting, and then, right, the corresponding character and the symbol, right, symbol of the key. So that is also A. Okay. And then we have something called as a key code. Now, what is a okay? Now it is actually starting with key sim. Okay. So key symbol is it is A, and then char is your A. Okay. And then, right, your key code, that is your 65. Okay. So usually, right, in the older programming languages, they used to have something called as a scan code. Okay. Now scan code is something, right, a code that is assigned to each and every key that is present inside your keyboard, and whenever you are pressing a key, that corresponding scan code, it will be sent to your program. Okay. And that scan code, that in turn, okay, that in turn, it will be converted into your ASCII code, and then that particular character corresponding to that key code, so that will be given to your program. Okay. So that is the usual procedure we have. So that is the reason why it is called as a key code. Okay. And then why you have a separate key sim and followed by a char. Okay. So this key sim, right, it is corresponding to, key sim is corresponding to what is the character is corresponding to a particular key, and whatever the key is, right, that you press inside your keyboard, you can also reprogram them, okay, to point to a different character. Okay. So that is also possible. So rather than, right, when I press say a small a, instead of displaying a small a, I can even display a small b. Okay. So that is also possible. So that, right, we can do it, right, by handling that, and then changing it. For example, I can change this event.char +1, so that the next character will get printed. Okay. So these are so this program, right, it makes use of two events. One is your mouse click, and another one is key press, and both, right, you have to bind it to which place you are binding it. So that is important. So if I don't bind it to the canvas, instead, right, I bind it to the window. Okay. Now, right, the window will listen to what you have done. Now, right, instead of canvas, right, we have binded it to the window. You see here, I click this, so it is showing where I have clicked it. See, it's 176.309. So which is not inside the canvas. Okay, so it is inside the window now. Okay. But canvas is sitting inside the window. So if I go and click on canvas also, it will show the XY coordinate. So 44, 34, the position in screen, right? So it is also showing right inside the canvas. But right now now right we have changed the window to listen to the mouse event as well as the repress. So suppose if I press a small b, so this is inside the window, you see here. So now we are getting right b followed by what is the ASCII value of that b. Okay. Depending on right where you want to bind it. The same thing, right? You can do like you create a button and then you can bind it to mouse event. Okay, so that is also possible. And similarly, right, instead of your button one, instead of waiting for button one, so let us say you want to reprogram it. Say to enter. Okay, so now right, I'm changing this as enter, but this will continuously create many events. Okay, if I press it as enter, okay, so whenever right the mouse is going to move over your canvas, this mouse event is going to get called. Okay. Okay. Now, right, I'm not going to press anything. Okay. I think, right, since it is an infinite loop, right, we are getting it here. See here, right, the different output, right, that is getting displayed here. So how much I'm waiting inside the canvas, that much number of output it will get displayed just by moving over the mouse right here. See here, right, we're having right plenty of clicked events. Okay, it is not clicked actually. So whenever right you move the mouse over the canvas, right, automatically right this event is going to get triggered. Okay, as a result it will call this process mouse event. Okay, so next example, right, we will see quickly how to create a checkbox. This example, right, it is not available in your textbook. Okay, so we'll see this example. So from TK Inter, so we are importing everything. Okay, but this is a small t. Right? All right, we are creating two variables, right? Now this variable, when we have a checkbox, right? We want to know whether we have clicked the checkbox or not. Okay, so it is a Boolean value, right? That is getting associated with a checkbox. Uh, so you know, right? What is a checkbox? Okay, so the first checkbox we have, so it has an on value and then an off value. This is the height and width of the text box checkbox. Okay, so we are having, right, this checkbox. Then the name of this is music. Second checkbox, the name of that is video. And then, right, we need to know, right, what is the status of that checkbox. Okay, so for that, right, we are associating a variable called as check var one with the first checkbox, and check var two with the second checkbox. Okay, and then we are having a on value. This on value, it is a one now. Okay, now let us see how this works. Now we are packing both the checkboxes and we are waiting for the loop. This is not written right inside your. This is not written right inside your class. Okay, so these are in your main program. So this is one checkbox, and this is the next checkbox. This checkbox, right? The name is music. So we are placing in the text, right? In the text property, we are setting what is to be displayed here, and then here also, right? In the text, right? We are displaying video. Okay, so this is one checkbox. This is next checkbox. And then there is a variable here. What is the on value of this? It is 1. Off value, it is, we are taking it as 0. So that means, right, if I click it, right, what is the value that we want to pass it? Okay, so if I so what is the value that will be set in check var 1? So if I click that the checkbox, it will set a value 1. Okay, if I uncheck it, then it will set a value 0. Okay, similarly, right, if I click on video, it will set a value 1 to the check var 1, check var 2. And then, right, if I uncheck it, then it will set a value 0 to this checkbox, this the check var 2 variable. So let us print them. Not listening to any even. So I'm running it again. So I'm bringing in this music. Okay. Okay. Now, if you see, right, the first variable, the value it is 0, and for the second variable, the value is 0. So that means, right, we have unchecked them. So it is not checked here. The music is not checked. Similarly, video is also not checked. Okay. So the values that we are getting for the first variable and second variable are 0 and 0. Okay. Now, if I click this music, now, right, since, right, we are not listening to any events, we are not listening to any event. So it is not triggering, right? Again, this print is not triggered again. So if I want to trigger this statement, I have to write again, write an event handler for this, right? Only then it will get triggered. Okay. So now you write what will happen if I check this music. This check var 1, right? On value it is 1. So that means this 1 will be set to this check var. As a result, now the value will be 1 followed by 0. Okay, now if I click this one, now the second variable check var 2, so that will be set as 1. So now if I go and print it, right, I will get 1 comma 1. Okay, so so that is the that is about check button. So these, right, if you see here, radio buttons, they are grouped under a single name. Okay, whereas checkboxes, each one, right, it is having a different variable. Okay, so this is one variable, right, that is know the status of this checkbox. and this is the next variable to know the status of this checkbox. Okay, I hope, right, we have we have covered everything. Only thing is, right, I think how to create a web page, that alone is pending. Create a web page using GUI functionality. uh, I don't know, right? Actually, right, you have to use apart from TK Inter, you have to use additional packages. Only then you will be able to create a web page. Okay, so let us see, right? Let us see it on tomorrow's class. Uh, then, right? So all these things, I think, right, we have covered our entire syllabus. So you can go through it. If we haven't covered any particular topic, right, you can just inform me. Okay? So the first unit, right, it is not having much to do. Okay, if you see the first unit, it is not having up to this, right, it is not having anything. So we are having, right, strings followed by numbers. These are the two things we have. Okay, and then so you go through, right, all these string methods and number methods, right, what are all the int, float, and eval. Okay, so all those methods, right, that we use it to handle the numbers, and methods to handle your strings, how to slice a string, right, how to or remove the white spaces, right, the strip function. So all these, right, you go through from here. And second, right, second unit, it actually starts with your if elif statements, right, and how to generate a random number. We have seen how to uh, generate a number, right, within a particular range, how to generate an integer, or how to generate a floating point number between 0 to 1. And these are your while loop, right, your for loop. Okay, how to do a switch case, right, and in for loop, right, how to write a range function. Okay, and how to define a function, how to pass parameters to that, how to set default parameters for them. Okay, suppose if we have a mix of default parameter and positional parameter, then, right, how will you pass values to them. Okay, and then the concept of return, whether you can return one value from the function, or we are returning a list of values in the form of a list object, or you can use a tuple, okay, to return a list of values. Okay, and how to define a global variable and local variable. So those are in your second unit. The third unit, right, we have list followed by dictionary. Okay, so apart from list and dictionary, we also have additional data structures like your set and tuple. Okay, so list, right, so all these functions we have already seen. You also go through, right, the examples that are uh, um, uh, the your assignment statement, your assignment questions, and your test questions, right, how uh, so how we have uh, used these lists and dictionaries in order to solve a given problem. Okay, so that is important. And then, right, after seeing a question, after writing your answer, you have to cross check whether whatever the question that has been asked, whether you have answered that. Okay, so that is important. Okay, so for example, right, your question may have two parts, so you have to check whether you have answered both the part. Okay, so that you have to verify. So this unit, right, it is having only list followed by dictionary. So you need to know how to create a list, copy a list, sort a list, right? How to copy one list to another, how to pass list to a function, how to return a list from a function. Okay. So these things, right, we have seen it with the help of prime number program and your vowel. Okay, checking whether a word contains all the vowels. Okay. And dictionaries, right? Uh, so these are, right, your key value pair. Okay, so we have seen, right, one example on how to create a dictionary. For example, to find out your word count. Okay, so so a particular word, how many times it appears in a sentence. Okay, so that, right, we can create a dictionary, and then we can when every time, right, you see a particular word, you go to that key and then you increment that value. Okay, so that example we have seen. More examples, right, it is also available in your David Schneider book. Okay, in this book, right, you also have several exercises regarding your dictionaries. So yeah, what are the options you can do. Okay, this is an example on how to do a dictionary. So again, right, how to read from a file and then create a dictionary, how to operate it on a dictionary. Okay, so those things, right? Similarly, how you read contents from a file and then create a list. Okay, so those things also, right? So even though, right, these are independent chapters, right? You club them, you will be able to answer a problem. Okay. Next is, right, we've discussed, right, what do you mean by file. Okay, how to create an exception, what are all the exceptions that are available, how to create an exception class. Okay, how to design your own user defined exception. Okay, depending on, suppose if the program wants to, if the user wants to enter only 1 to 100, so any other value, right, that you, for that, right, you can create an exception, you can show it to the user that you have to enter a number only within this range. Okay, so, and then, right, any error that you get, right, you can always write your except. Okay, so by using your except, any exception that occurs in your program, okay, that will be handled, and again, right, it will continue your normal execution. So that is the difference between your exception and your error. Okay, so next, right, we saw how to create classes, how to do object oriented programming with Python. Okay, and how to write, use your polymorphism, and how to use inheritance to create a different class. And then how to override the method. So same method, if it is available in base class and your derived class, then how to override a particular method. So that also we have seen. And last is, right, how to create a GUI by using your Python, by using TK interclass. Okay, and the buttons, your text boxes. Okay, and then, right, check button that we have seen now, and radio buttons. And apart from this, right, we have also seen how to create a menu, pop-up menu, mouse event, right, and then keyboard events, right, and how to draw a canvas. Okay, so there are also, right, animations there. So those things, right, we are skipping them. So I think, right, we will see one more example with dictionary tomorrow. Okay, so to cover this one, and after that, right, we will wind up. So thank you, right, we can stop now. So we will see, we will continue tomorrow.